the convicted felon Kanks. He's totally 100% stop. He's completely taking over, not because of crime. He doesn't give a frog's fat ass about crime. He knows the midterm elections are coming. And Miles Teller posted this, and I found it so interesting. He says, news, Trump installs czar at DHS to oversee election integrity. It's not just gerrymandering, folks. The White House is gearing up to use broader federal powers to shape the 2026 election. And remember, he was an anonymous whistleblower in Trump 1.0, but then he came out. But here's the deal, you guys. DHS was created after 9/11 about the homeland. Now instead of we're not looking at intel and people from Russia coming in, we're trying to get out immigrants and U.S. citizens and Canadians. We're worried about that. And Kristi Noem's worried about dressing up as a park ranger and all that crap. This is terrifying because do you remember the call about 11,000 votes to Georgia? Do you remember January 6th? This guy will stop at nothing to stay in power. He's acting like he's never going to leave power. But that chilled me to the bone when I saw that, because I was like, you're right. It's not about crime. It's about the midterms, full stop.
I think that the person that he appointed, and Kylie, you might have to dig this up, I believe that it's a she, and that she has been an election meddler in the past, that she did something to a voting machine. I think I read an article about this. So in true Trumpian dictatorial fashion, they choose people that are corrupt, and then they advertise that corruption and put them in a position of power. And they say, we do this. We get to break the rules. We're going to rub it in your face. And I believe that this person, this czar that he appointed, has a history of trying to cook the books on elections, which in the Trumpian world, it's perfect because they are willful hypocrites all day and every day. And this is something that we have to keep pointing out to anybody and everybody that will listen. MAGA people are willful hypocrites. They say they oppose law and order. Meanwhile, they voted for a convicted felon who then pardoned a bunch of Nazi pedophile felons that committed the felonies, beat up cops. They say they're, we're so for law enforcement. And then they pardon and they support the pardons of these criminals. And so they don't get to have it both ways. In this, we're so far down the fascist cycle that even simply calling out that level of hypocrisy has kind of vanished. And we need to keep that at the forefront.
Okay, this is an aside, but how about Trump signing an executive order about flag burning when he had the capital of all those January 6ers that were stabbing people with flags? I mean, I'm just like, shut up. Okay, so here's one reason that Trump is scared about the midterms. Put these different polls up, and I thought these were interesting. Trump dropped approval rating, 37% approve, 55% disapprove. 67% disapprove of Trump's handling of the Epstein files.
Wait,
well, no
so
shit.
Who are these 33%?
I agree.
I think that 33% is more the job approval. But anyway, these are the people that want him to be a dictator. All right, go on.
Right, that they prefer a dictator. Okay, and then 56 to 41% of people disapprove of troops in DC, which I'm like, again, so you're all for this. 60 to 32% people oppose sending more military aid to Israel, which that is a completely different ball of wax. People are coming out in droves in these polls against supporting Israel. And then here's something, 76% do not trust Putin to honor a peace deal. I'm like, who are these 24% that trust Putin? I mean, come on.
These are the people that are completely, that have 95 Trump flags in their yard and, their whole entire identity is Donald Trump. These are like really, really broken, toxic people. The Israel number is very interesting to me because something that's never really spoken about very much is the fact that AIPAC and Israel lobbies spent hundreds of millions of dollars, tens of millions at least, to get Trump elected for MAGA 2.0. While at the same time, they are donating to Democrats so that they can control both parties. So our opposition party to MAGA is beholden by the same lobbyists that help elect Trump. And our opposition party has gags in their mouth and they're beholden and they can't speak out when I believe in the Democratic Party, only like 8% support the provocations by Benjamin Netanyahu. This is wildly unpopular. When you see children starving and the Democrats are supposed to be the anti-war party, the party of human rights, and you have Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer and Cory Booker and Kristen Gillibrand and others that cannot get on camera and say MAGA is so full of shit. They are Israel first, while at the same time being the biggest Jew hater anti-Semites I've ever seen. And guess what? Benjamin Netanyahu has to spend about $200 million a day to keep bombing and killing innocent civilians. And guess who pays for it? Your ass without health care pays for it. That's what this party is. It's a layup. It's a layup argument for Democrats to make, but they can't make it because they are beholden to the same special interests that put us in this shit show.
Okay, perfect segue. This is the latest poll on the Democrats and independents regarding Israel. Okay, 75. Okay, you say the name of that poll, Quinnipiac. Quinnipiac, 75% of Democrats and 66% of independents oppose sending more military aid to Israel in war with Hamas. 77% of Democrats and 51% of independents think Israel is committing genocide. So these are numbers that you're referring to with the lobbying and they better look at these numbers.
Because I keep thinking they're going to look at this. I keep thinking somebody's going to break away and say, we have to put America first. We cannot continue to support the genocide and the murder of children, of journalists, of hospitals. And meanwhile, you don't have health care and we don't even know if we're going to make it to the midterms. Our opposition party is so impotent and so beholden. And when I think about Benjamin Netanyahu and what he's doing every single day, and then this is just something, I don't know. I've been deep diving into this and I want to get your take on this, and viewer comment in the comment section. So they all say, House members, pumps, congressmen, when they get elected, they immediately get an invite to Israel. Mm-hmm. And they go to Israel and it's all paid for by AIPAC or a similar Israeli lobby. And they go to Israel and some of them say they have an AIPAC person that they report to. And that some of them, when they were in the hotels in Israel, they would go back to their hotel rooms and the AIPAC person was in their room. Like they walked in their hotel room and the AIPAC person was in their room. You know who said this? Matt Gaetz. When he was first elected, but other politicians with more credibility have said, yes, this happens. You go to Israel, you have an AIPAC person, blah, blah. So I keep thinking, why can Cory Booker stand for 26 hours and go on and on and on about human rights and democracy and blah, 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 blah. But when it gets to this issue, he can't speak about it. Why can Hakeem Jeffries have moral clarity about everything? But when it gets to this issue and we go on down the list, and I think, well, what is it? Does Mossad do they honeypot him and film it? I mean, why is it so difficult for them to have moral clarity on this issue? The polling is there. The evidence of war crimes and genocide is there. Even within Israeli human rights organizations are saying 100% this is genocide and we're Jewish Israelis and we're telling you this is what this is. And we have our opposition party that's so beholden that in this last stance to save our democracy, they can't speak out against it. I don't know if they have compromising information on them. I'm just thinking out loud. But what is it? What is it? Do they honeypot him? I mean, what is it? It's not that hard to have moral clarity in this moment. It's just not.
Well, I agree with you, but I think it's money. The honeypot stuff, I can completely buy that. I mean, Moses Mike he shut down Congress so that they couldn't talk about Epstein, and he ran over to Israel. I mean, so I really do think that the honeypot is legit in some cases, but I think overall they are just, it's money.
But
They
I'm
don't.
I'm just thinking aloud because here's the thing too. If it's just money, all right, then some of these Democrats that take AIPAC money are going to be smart enough pumps to figure this out. Oh fuck, if we don't get to the midterms, then that's going to be, the democracy is over. Then Trump's just going to start canceling our seats and appointing,
Right.
sycophants to do it. And so the money and the support of Israel, all of that will have been for naught. And if they can't see that far ahead right now, then not only are they prostitutes, meaning, they'll sell out everything for, their conviction, but they're somewhat stupid and short-sighted that you can't see what's happening. And I think you see some Democratic politicians that are taking this moment seriously and they understand the severity of it. But I've yet to really hear the Democratic Party coalesce around an argument that would be a layup right now. And it would be MAGA is criminal first, MAGA is Israel first, MAGA is big corporations first. It's such an easy argument to make. And I read an article that the Democrats are still paying all of these policy wonk nerds to advise them on how to message right now, pumps. And they're telling them to not talk about him being an authoritarian. And I guarantee you, these are the same people that said, calmly go run around with Liz Cheney.
100%. The Democratic establishment and the thought leaders, they have got to fucking go. Okay, but this one is just a personal clip that I personally busted out laughing. So this is just kind of a way to end this episode lightly because it's so crazy and it's laugh out louder.
That this war would never have happened if the president had been in office. And
Did he also say that at that Alaska summit that he wanted peace? Did he tell you that he wanted to bring an end to the war?
Absolutely. There's a peace proposal on the table. He has certainly said that, and hopefully he stands by that.
I mean, you know that the critics out there say that this is Putin playing you all. How do you respond to that?
I think he has made a good faith effort to engage. He certainly did at the Alaska summit, but it's a very complicated conflict. But the president is determined to get this conflict done. Look, the president has done God's work on 7 separate.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
7 separate countries. And he goes on to say in that clip, he should get the Nobel Peace Prize, and I'm just like, that cannot be real. These people are not serious.
It's unbelievable. It's whenever I think a real red flag that a lot of normal emotionally, I'm not saying you and I are like so emotionally mature because we can be super immature, but we're emotionally mature enough to know that when somebody is piling on superficial praise like that it is not sincere.
No.
That the more extreme you go to describe it, the more descriptive you are about it, the more you're fucking lying about it. And that whole circle jerk, the 3-hour
the
cabinet meeting, pumps, that was on the foothills of him doing 3 Oval Office pressers, because I think Hanks didn't remember the first or second. I don't think he remembered. So he's just like, let's do a press conference. And he's like, let's do a cabinet meeting. But the way they all go around and praise him, the secondhand cringe that I feel when I watch that is unbelievable. But Tim, he's a gay guy over at the Bulwark.
Tim Miller at the Bulwark.
Tim Miller. He calls them, I thought this was so good, he calls them butt snorkelers.
They have their noses up his butt. No, I mean, they humiliate themselves and he doesn't get cringy. He fucking likes it.
Okay, we're going over time a little bit here, but that's the thing. When I watched him, he sits there and he's like,
no, he's like,
yeah, see, I told you.
I'm so great. And I'm just like, Oh my God. If he wasn't the most insecure, heinous, malignant narcissist, he would be like, shut up. I don't want to hear it. It sounds ridiculous.
Any
Y'all
person
are,
would.
anyone would. He likes it.
He loves it. And here's the thing that everybody has to remember. He could have a cabinet meeting starting today, right up into the 12-month, per Alex Jones, he's going to drop dead and collapse within 12 months. We could start circle jerks and complimenting him now until he drops dead, and it would still never fill him up, ever. There's not enough of this. So our country is being taken down by a broken, psychologically damaged person who has massive mental illness, dementia, inner child issues, is emotionally stunted. And then all of the people supporting him gravitate to that because it normalizes their own dysfunction. And we're all going to lose our democracy. We're all going to lose our country because these fuckers can't go to therapy and do the hard work. It's not fun. You and I have done it, Pumps. It's not fun.
It's not fun.
And we've had to do it. And these people will not do it because they're terrified of late night comedians.
Right. I mean, he had all that ass kissing, and then he goes on about George Soros and Seth Meyers same day. That's how filled up he was. Okay, that's all we have for now. Like this video, subscribe to our channel, and we'll be back with more news.